Hey, what is going on, citizens? This is President Vochelli, here for one of my favorite months out of the year, October. Obviously the season of Halloween, so I've been super busy recently with grad school work and such, but I wanted to make an exception. I wanted to really dedicate whatever small, minuscule free time I had to actually celebrate Halloween, and the best way I know how to do that is to play scary games. And if I'm going to play scary games, I might as well play them for my channel. So, today, I'm going to be playing Disturbed, a game I just happened to find when looking on Steam. It's a free download, and it looks like a choose-your-own-adventure sort of game. So, well, not really a game, but, you know, like, hey, if you were a kid growing up in the 90s, you probably read a choose-your-own-adventure book. So, you go to various parts in the stories, you make a decision, and that takes you to another part where you make even more decisions, and most of them will end in your death. But, anyways, let's go ahead and get us started here. Another dull day passes as you struggle to manage your failing farm. Your crops are beginning to wilt, and your cow is sick. For some time, the land has been very quiet. The air has grown thick and foul. Each passing day, you feel more uncertain if things will ever return to how they were before. Perhaps it is up to you. You made up your mind. You're going to do something about it. You stand in front of your humble home, pondering what you should do next. Yeah, it looks like everything's nice and hand-drawn, that nice, creepy, shadowy grayscale. Go to the crops, go to the house, go to the shed. So I exited my house. Who knows, maybe I can pick up something in the shed. You attempt to open the shed door, but the door won't budge. You remember locking it some time ago, but you can't remember what you did with the key. So I guess then I have to go into the house to look for the key. Entering the house, you feel a subtle uneasiness, as if the growing blight outside has penetrated the walls of your safe haven. From what you see, however, everything is the same as you left it. Perhaps this may be a good time to just lay in bed and wish that your problems will just go away. You fight the notion, but the temptation is still there. You know, let's go ahead and see what happens when we lay in bed. You lay in your bed and fall asleep to the light sound of the wind blowing outside against the grass. You begin to hear whispers and chants, but you can't make anything of it. An image appears before you, a stone, glowing as if it were alive. The chants get louder as your vision grows in more detail. You reach towards the stone with your hand. As your finger makes contact, a clash of thunder rattles around you. Your clothing and skin start to flake away like the dust in the wind. The particles flow into the stone, sapping the life from your body. You feel pain you have never experienced before, and fear begins to flood over you. You suddenly see yourself lying in bed, never to wake up again. Your adventure ends here. I am your nightmare. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out the shed again. Go to that. I had to see. It was the obviously wrong option. So anyways, I'm just kind of hoping this game doesn't have too many jump scares. I'm okay with uneasiness. Like, that's actually the best form of horror, but not just the bleh sort of shit. Open the chest. You open the chest and find nothing more than a pile of papers. It seems you have less valuables than you anticipated. You close the chest. What's in my journal? Dear Journal, another usual day on the farm. The crops are growing with good health. Oh, Bethan is also doing quite well. Never disappointed with the milk she provides. Oh, it's a cow. If things continue to go well, I may be able to invest in more animals. A farmer can only be so social for cow. Dear Journal, today has been an unfortunate day. Somebody broke into my shed and stole some things. I usually don't mind if someone steals a bite to eat from the garden, but to take my equipment, well, I put a lock on that door and hid the key. Nobody will ever get into my stuff again. Not even me. Dear Journal, I woke up one night to a foul smell I have never come across before. I took a step outside to see what I could find, but I found nothing after searching about the farm. Whatever it is, it must be bad. I should make a trip into the city to see what this is about. So I guess I'll go back outside. Let's see, gotta go ahead and go to the crops. A path divides the crops. You have labored so hard to prosper these past months. A penetrating odor reminds you that your plants are decaying away, and time is running short. Go to the pen, go back to the house, follow the path. What's in the pen? No, Bethan! Bethan! However the hell your name is pronounced. A toxic fume burned your nose as you entered the pen. The poor cow lays lifeless on the ground as a growing blight slowly begins to consume her body. You feel sick to your stomach as you stand there, especially as you stare at the black mushrooms that dot the ground. Grab the mushroom, inspect the water, leave the pen. We'll go and grab a mushroom. And whoops, you kneel down to grab a mushroom. As you begin to rip it out of the ground, a cloud of spores sprays from the mushrooms your hand begin to burn and melt as you observe them. Slowly your body shrivels up into a dark, moist consistency as the poison spreads. You die, eventually, after crawling about on the ground. Your adventure ends here. These are some serious shroobs, dude! Oh, so I can save. Oh, brilliant! Inspect the water. You inspect the water, looking for anything abnormal. You notice that the water has a dark consistency to it. Dropping a stone into it, black particles from the bottom swirl about like a thunderstorm. Your face shrivels in disgust. Follow the path. You continue down the trail for a while until you see a cave off in the distance. You pause, questioning if there could be something helpful in there. Probably be eaten by Gru, but oh well. There's a faint whistle from the wind passing between the rocks. The temperature significantly cools as you enter the cave. You notice that there is a different smell, but you welcome it, comparing it to the deathly blight found outside. I know this isn't going to end well. Before you take your next step, a large bear emerges from the darkness. You realize that you have made a terrible mistake even thinking that something helpful can be in here. Run away, run away, run away! Though that doesn't really work because bears are super fast. The moment you turn to run, the bear roars with a deep growl, shaking the loose stones about the cave. All you can think about is making it back home in one piece. Well, you make it to the trail. Then the bear catches up with you, tackling you to the ground. You scream in pain as the bear rips you apart. Your adventure ends here. Oh shit, man, look at all these achievements I'm getting. Fight the bear. You scan the ground and notice that there are numerous rocks you can grab and throw at the bear. You begin to do so as the bear approaches you. One after the other, you throw the rocks as hard as you can. And the bear charges at you, and bend over to grab another rock, tackling you to the ground. The bear bites you in the neck, your body quickly goes limp, and you die. Your adventure ends here. Oh well. So, have I learned my lesson? I believe so. Continue down the path. You come to a stop as you stumble upon a broken wagon. Inspect the wagon. You look about the mess and find bits of food and clothes scattered about the scene. You notice a key on the ground during your search. You pick up the key and continue on your way. After what felt like an hour or two, you reach a bridge. Nearby the path is a small shack, similar to the house you have on the farm. The man that lives here is a kind fellow, from what you recall. Maybe he's home. Inspect the shack. This isn't gonna end well. I'm making all the obviously wrong choices. You walk towards the structure and knock on the door. You scratch the back of your head, figuring that the person that lives here is currently occupied, if not elsewhere. You remember picking up a key from the wagon and use it on the door. The door unlocks. You decide to help yourself in. Oh, bollocks. Observing the empty room, you realize something terrible must have taken place here. The room is a wreck just like the wagon. You are overcome with fear as you think of the man that used to dwell here. Inspect the book. You pick out the book and start to flip through the pages. You discover that this is a journal. Reading a passage or two can't hurt. Except allowing a murderer to sneak up behind you and shank you up your asshole. Today's trading went smoothly, thank goodness. What I am thrilled most about, however, is what one of my buddies mentioned to me as the conclusion of our day. Apparently, there is a pond nearby that has some of the biggest fish in the region. With a good catch, I can make enough to move things forward. I was caught off guard when he mentioned that nobody has been able to catch any from there. I guess your typical fishing rod won't do the trick. But what can be done about it, then? Something to be intrigued about, I suppose. These past couple of weeks have been really rough for me. My trading business has gone under, and I've lost nearly everything I own. This has pushed me to extreme, but that can't be helped now. I'm leaving this place forever, never to return. The land is dying, and there's nothing but darkness here. Anyone bringing this should leave while they can. Okay, just show me the exit button. You can't find a name to give this man, but regardless of the name, you've got chills running down your spine. I gotta see what happens. I have to see. I am so curious. You observe the trapdoor and notice a lock keeping it closed. With the key, you unlock the hatch and get it open. Without thinking, you travel downwards. Oh, boy. Walking down the steps leading below, the air attacks your body with a piercing cold. You notice immediately that there's a woman chained to the wall. She doesn't seem to notice you as you study her. That's really creepy. In more ways than one. You feel darkness surround you as you stay in this awful place. Hey, what's going on? You tremble as you try to form words in your mouth. You there? Let me out of here! The pressure of such a demand makes you freeze. You take a moment to think about the situation before you respond. What got you locked up to begin with? You'll never believe me even if I told you the truth. Something brought you here. Please have mercy on me. You're just gonna shank me. You approach the woman and unlock the shackles that bind her. As her arms become free, she moans in pain. Oh, thank you so much. The woman struggles to regain her strength but starts to stand up on her own. As she gets up, she turns towards you. I will now do you a favor. What seemed to be the face of a helpless woman disappears as a horrible image manifests itself before you. You feel the chilling grip of bone hands lock around your arms. Energy flees from your body as you fall to your knees. You feel the essence of your life slip away as everything goes black. It is unfortunate that your journey ends here. I'm sorry, it just has that kind of anticlimactic sound effect, like... And decline. No, I will not. No, don't go! With nothing else to interact with, you make your way up the stairs. As you exit, you can hear the woman laugh behind you. The voice causes the shack to shake. You leave the shack and cross the bridge before something bad happens. You cross the bridge safely and continue down the trail. After all that has happened, you feel that you should take a moment to rest. You find a spot under a tree and sit down. Getting comfortable, you tilt your head back against the tree and gaze into the sky. Sure, let's take it out. Your eyes close and your body relaxes. You fall asleep within seconds. As your mind wanders, you see a blurry image. Details emerge as you gaze. You wonder who this might be. A bad feeling that overcomes you, and you realize who this is. You try to wake yourself up. You wake up and jump to your feet, looking about yourself and your surroundings. All seems well. You can't help but feel fearful that something bad will happen to you if you stay here. Moving forward seems like the only logical option now. I didn't die? What? You reach a point where the trail splits into two paths. Which way you should go? Left! After continuing down the path for some time, you come to a stop. You notice that there's some sort of trail that leads through the grass up toward the nearby hill. If you had not stopped, you probably would have never noticed. Which way do you go? Follow trail in the grass. Excalibur! Following the subtle trail in the grass, you stumble upon what looks like a grave. Inspect the grave. You approach the grave. You look at the sword with intrigue. Before you can touch the sword, a ghostly figure appears before you. You freeze before the apparition. The sword, may I have it? The blade is cursed. I am bound here by the pain of my past. If you desire the sword, free me from it. You slowly motion for the sword. Fool! Only something of a pure essence can free me, a rare hope like a flower found in darkness. I think I'm pure enough. I'm pure. I've only been living with cows all my life. I'm as pure as you can get down there. Or am I? You reach for the sword. Before you can even lay a finger on it, the spirit grabs your arm. A sharp pain flows over your body as your flesh melts off your bones, while fragments rain and fall to the ground. Your adventure ends here. Ah, cursed blade. Great! Ah, jeez! Back away. You listen to the spectre and leave the sword. The figure fades out of view. Continue on. You pause to see that there's a lake nearby. The trail continues on to your right. Inspect the lake. Probably going to get pulled in by some abomination, but oh well. Oh well. You step near the lake and look down into it. Resting underwater is an orb of some sort, sitting on the bottom of the lake. There's something strange about it, as if it were calling out to you. Sure, dive right in! You close your eyes and jump into the lake. You open your eyes to see the stone sitting before you. You start to make your way towards it. A large fish comes into view. It quickly notices you with its mouth stretched open. You try to leave for the surface, but the fish catches up to you. You quickly find yourself helpless before the creature. You close your eyes as the giant fish rips your body apart with its teeth. You die a very painful death. Your adventure ends here. Ain't need no fishing permit for that. Now's probably not the time. Continue along the trail. The fate trail comes to an end. There's a collection of stone pillars down the hill. Beyond the hill is a large field of grass. Inspect the stone pillars. You stand before the large stones arranged in the shape of a circle. In the center is a stone with what appears to be some sort of slot or hole. No doubt about it, something is meant to be placed there. Seeing that you can't do anything, you head back. So let me guess, the orb in the lake. You find yourself gazing over a grass field with hills rolling off into the distance. A motherfucking unicorn! As if a trick upon your eyes, you see a unicorn run across the field. It disappears out of sight before you can do anything. Surely the unique powers of a unicorn can help you with your quest, but there's clearly something wrong. If only there was a way to charm it. Alright, so I guess I gotta go back and back some more. Continue down the path. You walk for some time to find an endless field of grass. There's a stone well near the path. Inspect the well. You peer down the well. Other than the evident water at the bottom, there's a coin resting against the wall of the well. If possible, you feel you could go down and take the coin. Grab it! Grab it! Grab it! You lean over the edge of the wall. There's no possible way you can obtain the coin by reaching for it. With this in mind, you turn and climb down along the inner wall of the well. You take a few successful steps down, but your luck runs out. You misplace your foot and fall. Tumbling about, your body clashes against the stone walls. With a single knock on the head, you lose all consciousness of your accident. With a splash, you fall into the water. Your body sinks effortlessly, and you drown without realizing it. Your adventure ends here. Ooh, shiny. So if you have a chance to do anything, no, you leave. It's a village! Walking over hills of grass and grain, you reach the walls of Adamor. Several times a year, you come here to trade goods from the farm. You discover the plague that has spread to the farm has also spread all the way out here. The path before you is overrun with blight. You've come a long way and you don't desire to turn back now. You march forward into the tainted soil. Before you can realize what happened, you sink completely under the ill soil. Darkness consumes you and your lungs struggle for air. Your body burns in pain as you suffocate and die. Oh, we have returned. Your adventure ends here. It was all for nothing! You realize that you must go back. There's no way to reach the city. Go back to the path split. So I can absolutely do nothing if I go left. Brilliant. You reach the end of the pathway. In the distance is a tower looking over the area. A gate secures passage to the area with a wall around the property. Also of interest, there's a tree that has a hole carved into it. Inspect the tree. You approach the tree and notice the hole is big enough to fit your hand in it. You look and see something shiny in the hole as if it were metal. Feeling around with your hand, you find 3 knobs, one on the right, one centered in the middle, and one on the left. Press the knobs. Left. The knobs lock in place. You wait for a moment, but nothing happens. It must be some sort of combination, which I don't know yet. Go to the gate. You approach the gate cautiously. Ah! Is the intro screen? Enter. Standing before the tower, your heart begins to sing. This is no doubt the birthplace of the spreading plague. There's a fountain before you with statues on your right and left. I just don't learn. There's a dark haze about the fountain. The water is black and the smell burns with every breath. You feel a slight pull towards the fountain as if you were calling for something. Inspect the statue on the left. You see an old statue of an angel that has been consumed by vines of thorn. The angel is holding a book in one hand, the other with one finger pointed up towards the sky. You feel it best to leave the statue alone. Okay. Before you stands an old angel statue that is broke in many areas. With one hand, the angel is holding some sort of bowl, while the other hand is hovering over the bowl. You notice that there is only 2 remaining fingers on the angel's other hand. You feel you should keep your distance and just observe the statue. Enter the tower. Again, this is going to end well. As you reach for the doorknob, an invisible barrier stops you. Must be some sort of magic. So what in the hell do I do? I honestly don't know. I don't think there's anything else I can do. Everything just results in death, death, death! Actually, hold on a second. What if... Okay. Dark haze. I feel a slight pull towards the fountain. I've been calling for something. So first, I mean, the statue on the left has 1 finger pointing up. One on the right has 2, so is that like 1, 2? For the knobs I have to press in the tree? Left, right, middle. Middle, left, right? I mean, you know, eventually I'm gonna get this. This really shouldn't be too hard. Middle, right, left? Oh, except maybe middle, right. Alright, hold on a second. So, never mind. I was just starting to realize that, yeah, there's too many combinations just to experiment with, you know? Yeah, that was just the town. Just have to continue on? There's nothing I can do with the lake. There's nothing I can really do with the stone pillars either. There's nothing I can do in the field. Yeah, and there's nothing I can do with the unicorn. So yeah, unless there's something I'm missing, unless there's actually some clue, like I don't see what I could actually do here. Or wait, maybe it's left, right, right? Maybe that's what it is? Left, right, right. Oh, okay, that worked. Okay, cool. You hear the rumbling of rocks as the ground starts to shift underneath you. Everything goes dark and you sink below the surface. The hole above you seals up, trapping you underground. Well, shit stains. You find yourself with no evident way out, but the path before you into the darkness. Your only choice is to move forward. You see 3 separate paths within the walls of the cavern. Which path do you choose? That right has a support beam. I think that's safer. The passageway divides before you. Where do you go? Left. You walk forward into the dark, unsure of what lies beyond. 2 paths you may go. Which do you choose? Well, right's the first option. Yo! Freaking cave ship! As you make your way forward, you discover a large cavern. An old-looking ship rests against the edge of the lake with debris scattered about the surrounding area. Inspect the ship. You cautiously walk down toward the ship. The air is chilled and you fear it won't be a good idea to stay here too long. The possibility of discovering something that can help you drives you to explore. You climb aboard the ship. As you take a moment to observe your surroundings, you're only welcomed by the trickle of water brushing against the wood of the ship. Ooh, good sound effects. You move about to see where you can go. Every footstep you take feels heavy as you hear the sound of wood cracking under your feet. You feel the ship has been here for quite some time. You explore under the deck of the ship. Nothing but the sound of your footsteps bounce about the structure of the ship. From one room to another, you come to discover a kitchen. Although there is nothing unique about it, you feel you should take a moment to inspect it. Inspect the oven. You see a lone pot resting upon a dusty stovetop. You gaze downward and open the oven door. Nothing but ash fill the oven chamber. You close the oven door. You pull one out after another, finding that they have been emptied. Dust spreads about the air as you disturb their rest. Checking underneath, you discover a rusty knife resting on the floor. You find that there are plenty of hardened rat droppings dotting the edge of the wall. You take the knife in hopes that you may defend yourself with it. Right, you continue your lonely tour of the ship, only to find that there is nothing of use or value. You make your way back to the deck and decide to continue your search. Again, you find nothing much but empty rooms, left to remain in dark solitude. You discover a door with fancy markings about the woodwork. Perhaps this is where the captain resided. You discover the room of the captain. Unlike the other parts of the ship, everything seems to have been left alone in the room. Before you rests an old wooden desk with papers and assumed belongings of the captain. There is a small bed off near the corner of the room and some chairs in the other. You have a feeling deep down that you shouldn't take anything. Other than the lamp and other objects, there's a small stack of papers in contrast to a lone paper resting by itself. Approaching the desk, you begin to inspect the papers resting on the desk. What is the lone document? Notice to the crew. Due to our unexpected predicament, everyone is being split up into groups of 2 and 3. Scouting assignments will be given until we find a more habitable place to settle. For now, we must do what we can. Peering about the pages of this collective pile of documents. I keep having to change voices. Just very subtle differences, but, you know. You realize that most of these are personal notes or journal entries. You pick a few and begin to read. Day 7. The voyage has gone quite smooth as we begin our second week away from home. The spirits of the men are high as we anticipate the discovery of new lands that lie beyond our documented knowledge. It has been my dream to accomplish something world-changing. Together, we move forward with full hearts and unbreakable spirits. Day 66. It has been just over 2 months out at sea. We have yet to discover anything new. We have suffered through many storms. A sickness has plagued the ship recently. Several of my favorite crew have passed on to the next life. I see the growing doubt in the eyes of my fellow laborers as our voyage continues day after day. Food rations have been cut in half in fears that we may have to turn back. I dare not let myself think of failure. Those men who have lost their lives, the sacrifices to make this voyage possible, I cannot let them be in vain. Day 91. It has come to roughly 3 months out here on the endless blue. With much pain, we have turned around. Yes, we are headed for home port. We have just enough food to make it back. I just hope we have a smooth journey back. The spirits of the crew are low and bitter due to our failure. I do not let myself get caught up in thinking of it. Truly, we did not intend for this to happen. Seeing that there is little left to see, you take your leave. Wood under your feet clackle. Clackle? Clackle? I've never heard that one. As you exit the vessel. You make your way back to where the tunnel divides. 2 paths you may go. Which do you choose? Left. So apparently I'm going the right way. Which kind of sucks, because I wanted to see how I would die if I went the wrong way. You move forward into the darkness. Wow. Okay, game, just go ahead and make a fool out of me. You cautiously step forward into the darkness. You come to a divide. Which way do you go? Well, the right looks a little more intimidating. You know, you just see that stalactite there. You hear a subtle echo of shifting rocks before you. An eye appears before you as its gaze pierces the darkness. Before you can do anything, tentacles burst from the ground and grip your body. It pulls you about, but you resist as much as you can. You remember the knife you have found and struggle to bring it out. With success, you hold the knife and begin to cut away the appendages that bind you. The room vibrates as you do cut, and the creature immediately leaves you alone. It takes you a moment to catch your breath. You come to the divide. Which way do you go? I guess right. Yeah, what the hell is that? The path you walk comes to an end. Before you shines a pillar of light. The light rests on a corpse that seems to have been here for quite some time. Near the corpse stands a lone flower. For some reason, you feel hope enter your heart as you gaze upon the flower. Surely this flower will ease the pain of the spectre. You approach the flower and carefully pluck it from the ground. There's something special about this flower. Light continues to pierce through the darkness from an opening above. Surely it gives you some hope that all is not lost. Seeing that there's nothing else for you here, you turn around. No, I actually just looked over at my recording software. Yeah! Yeah, the mouse is all stilted. Whatever. It's not really a high-intensity game, so... Continue your way into the darkness. Alright, I guess we'll go left. So we got the knife, the flower. You cautiously make your way through the darkness. You come to a split and pass. Which way do you go? Right? You struggle forward as the way before you becomes completely dark. You notice that there is a light in the distance, and you continue to make your way forward.